international school in Tokyo, and when the native staff took off, the Japanese staff was very like, it's kind of a bad, like, oh, okay, you don't care about us. Something I noticed in Japan is they expect you to work overtime even though you get no pay. We're not going to pay you, but you should keep working because everybody else is working. Like that kind of like atmosphere. But America, they say like, from my jobs.
And you can just see it on the faces of the people taking the trains, you know, especially in Tokyo where it's, you know, a lot of big business.
Tired.
They look tired all the time.
I think young entrepreneurs, young people that want to change Japan need to change Japan. Make new companies, start making new rules. And it's hard, but it needs to happen.
Thank you for your time. I'm Yuto. What is your name?
Ramsey.
Elisa.
Xander.
Nice to meet you. Where are you from, guys?
We're from California.
California?
Minnesota, I guess.
California too.
California. Nice. Are you traveling in Japan?
Yes.
Okay.
It's our first time.
First time?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, how many days do you plan to stay?
14 in total.
Yeah, 14 in total. We're towards
14.
the end of the trip, but...
Oh, that's really long. Okay. I will ask you some question about the work environment in your country. Are you an employee or self-employed?
Not at the moment, but I have been, yes.
Okay. What is your job?
I was working in sales.
Sales.
Yeah.
Okay. Regarding paid holidays. In Japan, we have a minimum of 10 paid holidays for a year. In law, after 6 months of starting a job. How many paid holidays do you get per year? And what's the legal minimum in your country?
I'm not sure how many paid holidays that we have per se.
Flex.
I don't think there's a minimum.
Yeah.
I think it depends on the job you're doing.
But it's
The
also
company.
different between PTO and the holidays.
Yeah.
So like some holidays in America are recognized by the government.
National holidays.
National.
Yeah. So,
Like 4th of July.
but I also, if you're talking like PTO, I had unlimited PTO. So as long as I was doing well at work, I could take however much time off as I wanted.
Because he was working in sales and had to hit a quota.
Yeah.
So as long as he hit his number.
Yeah. But I don't know the exact number in the United States of how many paid holidays we have.
Okay. Do you get them immediately after joining the company or after some months since joining the company?
Immediately.
Immediately. Okay. According to our survey, Japan's paid holidays utilization rate is 60%, which ranks second worst in the world. Also, the majority of reasons why people don't take paid holidays is because they feel guilty for taking paid holidays while everyone else is busy working. What do you think about this compared to your country? Do you feel guilty or?
It's definitely very different.
Oh.
I think that in the States, paid holidays are time that everyone pretty much takes off. It's like a given. PTO is a little different, especially as a salesman. If I'm trying to hit a quota number and I'm behind on the quota number and I take PTO, then I would feel guilty. It would be a bad look. But if I was ahead on my number, then I wouldn't feel guilty about taking time off. And specifically for holidays, I think that people, no matter what, like Christmas or any of those holidays, people just take them off.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think that there's actually laws around people working on those days sometimes. Like when you work a holiday in the States, let's say I was working in a grocery store, then you would actually get paid double for working on those days. So some people do it for extra pay.
Extra pay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some jobs, holidays, you get more money.
Oh.
Yeah, like if you work in a retail, like clothing store or supermarket or a restaurant, you make double pay for holidays. So
That's
they
really
want
nice.
to work. They want to work. Yeah.
So hourly jobs, you have to get paid double. Salary, it's the same.
Yeah.
But not all holidays. Like Halloween, like I worked as a server and I had to work Halloween and I think 4th of July. And even though 4th of July is usually, it depends on where you're working too.
Yeah,
There's different policies, different places.
They have to be federally recognized holidays
But
too.
I worked in a like international school in Tokyo, and when the native staff took off, the Japanese staff was very like, like it's kind of a bad, like, oh, okay, you don't care about us. But America, like, they don't care. Like, if they're tired, hungover, sometimes they'll take off. It doesn't matter.
It's expected.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, your like personal mental health is very important in America.
There's also a kind of mindset where I get my time off or I'm leaving for my own health. You can do the same thing. Why are you staying? Yeah. Which is a lot different for I know you guys, because you guys don't just.
You can take off time too. Like, doesn't matter. Yeah. That's mentality.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
Do you use up all your paid holidays within a year, or do you have to use all of them up within a year?
So, is holiday in Japan like vacation?
No, like PTO.
Because like in Europe they say holiday, like that's vacation.
No, like PTO.
So
Does your
PTO,
PTO carry over?
PTO, I used most of my PTO in my years working, but not all. And like I said, it was unlimited. But they also had like it's unlimited, but 2 to 3 weeks before we talk to you about it. And if you were ahead, then it was okay.
Also, some companies, if you don't use PTO, they give you money. So they will save the PTO, never take a time off, and take money instead. Some companies, not every company.
Also, there's a minimum. So I've had friends who didn't take PTO, and then they were told you cannot come to work. Because if you come to work, it's illegal for us as your employer to actually have you come into work, right?
It's a case by case a lot for the companies too. Like I have a cousin who, because he just started working somewhere, he doesn't have any PTO because he has to earn that. Like Manib, he couldn't come on with us on vacation because he just had to work.
I think in America,
I think that was more about expectation though.
No, he couldn't.
Some companies like 6 months. You work 6 months, then you get PTO.
So same.
Yeah.
I think for Manib it was a year though.
Yeah, it depends on the company. Every company is different, but I feel like in Japan, like everybody has that expectation of like you are only taking off time if you're dying or pregnant.
Yeah.
I think the countries that are best in PTO are like France and Greece though, right?
I think
America, they're pretty
that
great.
if I was to be employed in a new job, I would feel weird if I took time off within that 6-month period. Like it would feel unnatural. But I don't think it would be problematic. I also think that if you're applying to a job, let's say like I just got a job before this trip, in my interview I would say I'm going to Japan and this time I won't be here. Is that okay? Do you still hire me then? And then it's okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Communication's big.
Since Japan's paid holidays utilization rate is very low, in 2019 the government forced people to take 5 days a year. But people feel guilty about taking the 5 days and connect together. So most people end up taking each day separately, like 1 day off at a time. So usually we don't have a vacation like 2 weeks or 3 weeks and traveling. What do you think about this compared to your country?
I think it's sad to me because, you know, you have a day of relaxation, but you also don't get to, you know, vacation and enjoy things, travel, you know, with your family. And I think, especially when you have kids, that's a very hard thing because you don't get to, you know, take them places and enjoy life with them as much. And I think that there is a difference between me taking a day here, a day there, versus, I'm taking a week to go travel somewhere and enjoy vacation. It's more restful, I think, to have multiple days.
Yeah. But I think it's so hard, and because Japanese culture is very like senpai kohai, right? So like if your senpai is working very hard, you feel like super guilty.
Yes.
But America doesn't have senpai kohai. Like it doesn't matter. Like older person's working, I'm gonna go home. Like I finished my work, I'm gonna go home. Like I don't care. And they don't care too.
Oh really?
Yeah, they don't care. But Japan, they care.
Yes.
And that's like really hard because then you feel like maybe you won't get a promotion or the boss doesn't like you or your senpai is not going to take care of you, right? But America, it's like every person for themselves kind of.
At the same time, I think that people who work harder are recognized.
They
I had a
get more.
coworker who skipped some vacation time, who would work through a holiday, and she was recognized and she did very well for herself. So I don't think it's that it's not rewarded, but it's not expected in the same way culturally.
Yeah. You don't get like negative for taking holiday.
There's not a negative connotation to it because everyone does it.
Okay.
I didn't want to cough next to the mic. I'm sorry. But there's like a negative connotation with taking vacation like short notice without giving people warning, which is like a very common thing where people will just sometimes disappear, and then you're that guy, right? But I think it's also important to say that taking breaks is a very human thing to do because we're not made to work. We're made to live, right? And if you spend this is my first vacation in like 8 years, but I'm a full-time student, so I don't work like he works. But like, it's really important to get a reset every once in a while, or else it builds up and you're just carrying that with you always, and it's toxic. And I think it's really important to take that reset because you forget what it's like to not have it.
Also depends on industry. America is similar to Japan if it's industry. I was a kindergarten teacher in Japan. Teacher, right? Kids. You're responsible for kids. America, the same. You cannot take a time off because kids, they need you.
Responsibility.
Yeah, responsibility. But if you're in tech, you can work from home. Work from home culture is very big in America. So I think it's easy to take off because you're working from home. Also, if you're sales, then it depends on you, right? If I work hard, I make money, but it doesn't affect other people. But school, hospital, restaurant,
very job dependent.
it's the same.
Very
You
job
cannot take
dependent.
time off because other people depend on you.
That also goes into time off is something people compete over with because that's what people look for in a job, right? Someone's not going to want to work a job where they don't get time off, and if they don't, there must be another reason they're doing it, like maybe good health insurance or something. Like my cousin, the one that doesn't get time off for the first year, he's going to get more benefits after he's committed that full year because it's kind of their way of sifting through people who are just coming for the benefits, right? So it's a sales point for companies.
How long do you usually take paid holidays continuously and connect together at one time?
I think that a normal holiday is about a week.
Week.
I think a week is pretty normal.
I think depends on
depends.
like older people will take longer time,
Oh.
right? They worked harder,
Yes.
they established themselves, they can take longer, nobody cares. But you're younger, I think you take less.
I also think that a very common holiday is to take a long weekend. So
Weekend, like 3 days,
you take
4
like
days.
the Friday and the Monday off and give yourself like a 5-day period.
Especially
That's very
with
common.
holidays.
Yeah, that's common.
Some people will just take the extra day off because they're hungover.
Yeah, sometimes Monday off because they're hungover.
Okay, what's the normal holidays that take time?
Christmas.
Like Saturday, Sunday,
Christmas.
obviously, right?
Okay.
Christmas is
weekend.
really big. Yeah, weekends, adding time onto a weekend. We have some,
Thanksgiving.
like Martin Luther King is a really big holiday for a free weekend. Labor Day is a big one
We
in
have
the
a lot of
States.
national holidays.
Yeah.
How long the common?
Many national holidays are on Monday.
Monday.
So like 1-day periods,
So Saturday, Sunday, then Monday as well.
but next to a weekend.
Yeah.
So instead of having a 2-day weekend, I'll have a 3-day weekend. That's common.
They structure it so it puts less weight on the business.
I would say on average you probably have a little under one a month.
They try to spread them out.
Yeah, maybe Christmas is the biggest one.
Yes.
Christmas.
But
everyone
I think
gets time.
Japan has the same thing for New Year's. And Japan has Golden Week and Silver Week. So they have pretty similar holidays.
Yeah, because in the States it's the day before Christmas up until the day after New Year's is usually given. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty standard.
Okay.
Like 1 week.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Regarding sick leaves, do you have sick leave in your country? Country is low, or in your company?
Yeah, definitely sick days. And I think it's one of those things where it's about trust and not abusing it, right? I think that eventually your bosses would get skeptical of it, right? Like, oh, he's always taking time off for being sick.
Also, America has maternity leave and paternity leave for the father too. If there's a baby, mom and dad get time off. Also, these days, they are pushing mental health days. Is pretty big now in 2020.
Yeah.
2020, yeah.
Times are definitely changing.
Now it's changing a lot.
Yeah.
There's also...
Where
oh, sorry,
it's less about being sick and more like I just need the time off from my health. It's changing, but definitely like taking time off because you feel unwell is normal. It's normal.
As far as like paternity and maternity leave, there's a lot of research coming out of Europe that the first few months of a child's life is so important and crucial for development that it's like an investment into the future, right? Like, and parents will really appreciate getting that time off because it's time, like it's your baby. It's the one time you have a baby, right? They're not going to be a baby ever again. So it speaks to them caring about you as an employee by giving you that time off. But it varies a lot. Like in Europe, they'll give you like 6 months for the husband and the wife. And sometimes the wife will even have like up to 8 months. But for us, it's like 6 weeks. So it's a very big gap compared to what they're doing in other parts of the world, and it's working, right?
Okay, thank you. That's the separate from paid holidays, right?
Separate.
Maternity leave and sick days.
Yeah.
So actually my sick days are counted as PTO.
Sometimes.
Paid time off.
If you go over your...
So like I said though, I have unlimited PTO, right? So they really are counting it on how many days you didn't work. For me, at least, that's how it was. Where it's like, if I take a vacation to Japan for 7 days, that's the same as if I took 7 days off for being sick.
Many companies now will have unlimited paid time off. So as long as you do your work, they don't care if you leave. But you need to do your work when you come back. Yeah, so it doesn't... They don't care really, just as long as you get your work done.
Maternity and paternity leave is usually paid leave though, because you're not able to work during that time.
And I think like she said earlier, it's really about what kind of job you're in.
What industry?
You know, some people are less crucial to whatever they're doing, right? If I'm a doctor and I have a whole bunch of surgeries lined up, I can't just take a sick day. Right.
I think unlimited paid time off, often like tech work. Tech jobs, sales jobs.
Okay, thank you. Regarding overtime, how many hours do you work per day, and how many days do you work per week?
Yeah, I think for me in my sales job, it was similar to what she said, where some days I would work longer hours because I needed to get work done. But for the most part, it was within my 9 to 5, let's say.
Oh, really?
Right, where it's like, okay, those are my hours, and then I'm done, right? But I do think that depending on what you're doing, there is an expectation of you should stay longer if you didn't get what you needed to get done, right? So it changes.
Yeah. Now, I worked in Japan, and when I was working in Japan, my day finished at 6 p.m., but I felt like my senpais are still working. I need to keep working. I need to work longer until they leave or until I finish my work. And I need to do more all the time. But America, 6 o'clock, everybody's gone. Bye. Like, oh, I have work, I'll do it tomorrow. And restaurants close early in America.
Yeah, it depends on the job.
Depends on the job, of course.
Depends on the job.
But Japan, especially Tokyo, it's a city. And maybe New York is different. But
really?
When I was living in San Francisco, restaurants close like 9 p.m., 10 p.m. early. So everybody goes home, right? But Tokyo, it's late, midnight, 1 a.m. So everybody's still working. So I felt like in San Francisco, 9 p.m., or when like the day finished, everybody just goes home.
It's not uncommon for there to be something called like a night shift, where they'll have someone come in specifically to work those long hour shifts because they know that you've already been working like 8 hours. 8 hours is like a standard work shift. But there's also places in Europe where they, like I think Greece works like 3 or 4 days a week, right? And that's just their work week. So they always have like 3 or 4 days off.
Something I noticed in Japan is they expect you to work overtime even though you get no pay. We're not going to pay you, but you should keep working because everybody else is working. Like that kind of like atmosphere. But America, they say like, from my jobs, oh, you're not paying me anymore, so bye. You're not gonna. Yeah.
In America, there's two kinds of jobs.
Yeah.
There's a hourly employee and a salary employee. I don't know if it's similar here.
Yeah.
But if I'm working hourly, then the expectations are different. If I'm working overtime hours, you're paying me double. If I'm working holidays, you're paying me double. But salary workers, it's more about, this is the work I need to get done. I have to work extra hours from my own sake, right?
Okay.
Yeah, it's different that way.
I think the pay style legally is very similar, Japan and America. They will pay, some companies pay overtime, but the culture is different.
Okay.
The pressure is different.
Okay. How many hours in a day overtime you're working?
I've worked like 12-hour shifts before. 12 hours is like the cap. If you're working over 12 hours, it's like a bit extreme.
Yeah, double shifts, right?
Yeah, it's like that's like what people commonly refer to as a double. I don't think there's any job that I know of that would work someone for like 16 hours unless you're doing something like really intensive, like construction maybe, or doctors. But it's generally considered a health risk because if they hurt themselves because they're tired, that's a liability for the company. So it's much easier to pay someone else to just work another 8-hour shift, and then you're not overworking your workers, and then you're having the same amount of hours, and you're not paying overtime on top of that.
Yeah, and I think that hourly jobs are hesitant to work you overtime because they have to pay more. So instead of having you work more, they'll hire another employee to cover a different shift time. So you're on, and then when you're off, another person replaces you, instead of having one person work a long hour. But as a salaried employee, it's really, I would say maybe one day out of every week I was working overtime, where I was like, oh, I need to get this done.
Sales, right?
Yeah.
You work
Sales.
harder, you make more money. So it's
Right.
up to you.
Right.
Also, America, people can quit and join a different company easy. Yeah.
Yes.
So if you make me work overtime, I'm gonna quit. I'm gonna go somewhere else because I'm not happy here. Japan, it's harder, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think that feeling, and companies know too. We cannot push you too much because you will sue us or you will leave. So I think the worker has a little bit more power than Japan.
Okay, that's really nice. It's my opinion. Okay, the last two questions. Sorry, is there any customs like unpaid overtime in your country, or have you ever heard about it from your friends or family?
So in the States, if you're working an hourly job and you get unpaid overtime, you can sue your workplace for a lot of money. Super illegal. So because of that, it's very rare. And when it happens, it's usually kind of shady work. But outside of that, no.
Yeah, they'll tell you to go home.
Yeah.
Go, leave.
They don't want you there.
They don't want you to.
They don't want you
lot
there
of
because it's a liability for them, right? They don't want to be able. They don't want you to have the opportunity to sue them, right?
But there's a lot of tricks companies will do. Like I was working at a tap room, and had me. A tap room's like a bar serving room. It's like wall taps. But they had me sign away my lunch breaks, which wasn't legal. You couldn't really make someone sign it away, but I didn't get to take lunch breaks because I had signed it away, even though that wasn't legal. It was just how the business was run. So some companies will just, or businesses I should say, will just get away with doing things they're not really supposed to because no one will call them out
But you
on
signed, so it's up to you.
Well,
It's on you.
It's still
legal.
Yeah, it's
But
still
that's why they make
illegal.
I
you
can't sign it away legally.
I think sometimes companies will take advantage of people who don't know the law.
There is a saying that don't be good at a job you don't like. Because if you're really good at your job, they will use you. They will, stay longer or do more. I think a common one is maybe not overtime, but they will make you do, maybe your job is 1, 2, 3, but you're very good. They will make you do 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, but that's not your job. But they will make you do it.
That's
like
really
do more
similar
responsibility.
to Japan.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you don't get more pay, but more responsibility.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. This is the last question. Please tell me your honest opinion about the Japanese work environment and the way Japanese people work compared to your country. And what would you say if you give some advice to Japanese people?
Yeah, I think that she'll be the best to answer this question because she's worked in both places. But in my time in Japan, I think I saw a lot, even on weekends, a lot of people coming from work, not having that time off. And you can just see it on the faces of the people taking the trains, especially in Tokyo where it's, a lot of big business.
It's hard.
They look tired all the time.
It hurts seeing them because they just look so gone. It's not something you see in the U.S. to such that extreme.
Yeah, it's a lot of really tired faces, and I think that, at the end of the day, it's a means to an end to work, right? We don't work. Some people work because they want to, but most people work because they have to. And if you're working because you have to, you have to remember that life is what it's all about, and spending time with family and friends and experiences is really important. And I think that Japanese work culture definitely, from my perspective, is toxic. It's really hard to get jobs. It's not a fluid thing. There's a lot of expectation on you and a lot of pressure on you. And because it's also hard to fire someone here, instead of them, letting you go, they'll kind of bully you out, which is also not okay from my perspective and what I'm used to.
I think it's really hard, but young people need to make companies because Japanese culture, the old people are the leaders. And then you cannot change the company because until they die or retire, nobody goes up. Nobody can change the company. I think young entrepreneurs, young people that want to change Japan need to change Japan. Make new companies, start making new rules. And it's hard, but it needs to happen. Otherwise, they're never going to change. Also, I think collaborating with foreigners, bringing foreigners in and creating a new mixed culture is going to be good for Japan. They can have balance. Also, foreigners need to respect Japan, of course, at the same time. Two ways, respect. But they can make a new kind of Japanese work culture for young people. But young people need to do it.
Personally, I'm studying business management and leadership, so I'm learning a lot about what makes a business work well and what doesn't. And a lot of what they're learning now is the mentality that taking advantage of your workers and working them to the fullest extent isn't the best way to use your workers. You take care of your workers, they'll take care of you. And Japan's a country built on loyalty. You guys are very loyal to the places you work, and I think it's not crazy to say that if you treat your workers well, they'll do even more for you because it's already been proven to work. And it's just sad that you're not given that chance to show that if you treat us better, we'll do better for you. And instead you're working these insane hours that aren't being paid for, which is just insane to me because it's not work at that point. It's you're being forced to do something you don't want to do. You can't leave. You don't have the freedom to express your value and go to another company and say, hey, I'm the best in my field at what I do. The company I work at doesn't appreciate me. I deserve better. You're not allowed to do that, and that's not okay because that's not how a business should function. That's how a labor camp functions.
I think in Japan we have a phrase, right? The nail that sticks out, tatakareru, right? Kugi, like the nail. I think stick out more. Stick out. Come on out. Yeah. If everybody comes out, then they cannot push you down. And I think everybody needs to speak out more. And too much nakurunaisa, right?
More
or too much, like shoganai culture. No, we can change. Japan can change. I think Japanese people are amazing. They're so creative and they're so loyal, like you said. So they have the power to change it, but the workers need to do it.
I also think there's very few places in the world that is as hardworking as Japan.
Yeah, they work so hard. So work hard for yourself, not for the big companies.
Okay, that's all.